I hope you all know how to go to charts. So you click on this menu button here. You click on the menu button and you go to charts. Okay. So the chart will open, and you can set your template. Now, what is a template? A template is something where you there are people who plot different kind of studies on the charts, different kind of indicators on the charts. So if you can see here, my chart has opened NSE futures 75 minutes because that is my default template. Okay, so you can make your default template. So if you are in NSE futures, what will happen if intraday charts will open? You have to click on historic. Okay, you have to click on historic, and so for my default market for historical is NSE. And the moment I pressed historical, if you see here, the market has changed to NSE. Okay, automatically the market has changed to NSE, and all these peak and trough, this snowball, this risk meter are all because of my default template. So my default template has all these things. Now, once again, for clarity, I want to tell everyone that that your default market and your default type, you can go in your user settings, which again you will find in the menu. You can go in your user settings and you can set those. So all these things that you see here, these are being plotted because I have set this as my default template. So yeah, there are Shaspa algos. So you can see here what my default template has peak and trough. If you can see, there is peak and trough here. For people who don't know, who are naive and who are new, the green horizontal line here, this line that is going like this. Okay, as I move my cursor, if you can see, this is the peak. Okay, the peak is the resistance. Okay, so the peak in Shaspa, the peak is dynamic. Okay, there are quite different rules of the peak being formed. There are different rules for the peak to be formed, for the trough to be formed. Okay, so this horizontal line here is the peak, and this horizontal line here is the trough. If you can see, this horizontal line here is the trough. Okay, the red line is the trough, the green line is the peak. If you see here, this green patch is the zone, green zone, and this red patch here is the so if you see here, you can see zone. Now this zone is this green patch here and this red patch here. Okay, now what this zone is, what it signifies, where is it, it is useful, I will tell you later. Okay, then if you see, I have the risk meter which is here. Okay, it is obscured by the chart, so if I can move the chart, you can see the risk meter here. Okay, so the risk meter will move according, with the chart, the risk meter will move. So it will show you the latest the latest position. Well, what is the risk at that point of time? So if I move the chart, you can see the risk meter is moving according to the risk at this point in time here. Where the chart is ending at this point, what was the risk? That is what it shows. Now, in Shaspa algos, we have the risk meter and we have the risk line. So if you see here at the bottom, it is the risk line. Both are the same things, only the representation is different. One is represented as a dial, okay, like you see here, as a speedometer, okay, for easier understanding. And for people who are accustomed to reading lines, then there is a risk line here, so it will be plotted at the bottom here, the risk line. So if you want, I can plot it here and I can show you. Okay, so even though you have a template, you can still add and subtract or remove any kind of so if you have a default template, it does not mean that you cannot remove anything from here. So if there is risk meter I want to remove, I can temporarily remove the risk meter. If I want to temporarily remove the monthly high and low, I can remove the monthly high and low. If I temporarily want to remove the snowball, I can remove the snowball, right? And if you see, I have added the risk line which was not earlier there, so I have added the risk line here. Okay, then there is Shakti. If I want to add Shakti, then I will add Shakti here. So okay, so this is risk line will not be available when you plot Shakti. Okay, so so this is how do you set a template? Is you you can add a template by clicking here. Okay, it says add template. You can add a template. You can add whatever you need to add. You can give it the name, the template name. Whatever you need to add, you add, or whatever you need to, this, like this. Whatever you need to remove, you remove. Okay, name it anything you want, save, and it will get saved. So that is how your template is made. You can make any 3, 4, 5 templates. Okay, but however, you can only set one as the default, because only one template can be default, right? You cannot permanently edit a template. So what you need to do is you can delete an existing template. Let's say if you want to edit a template, better you create a new template and you delete a template that you don't have. Okay, so temporarily you can add or remove studies, that is possible, but to edit a template, that provision is not there. So what you can do is you can create a new template and you can delete with the one which you don't want. Okay. So right now this is the template that is running. If I select this test template, then it changes. Now you see it is changing to whatever parameters I've set for that set template. So the test template only has snowball, Shakti, and zone. Okay, that's all that it has. So zone will always be at the end of the chart. So if you move the chart, you will not see zone, unlike peak and trough, because peak and trough will the chart will always have a peak and trough, but the zone will always be towards the end of the chart, wherever the chart is ending. That is where you will the final prices. That is where the zone you will see. So if you see in this test template, I have snowball, Shakti, and zone. Okay. So it has changed. Now if I again change the template, it will again change. All right. So this is what you can change from a weekly chart to a daily chart. You can, if you want, you can change it to a line. What the chart takes this long to load is because it is loading all your studies, and then what happens is, for every chart you open, it will keep loading those studies for you. Okay, so the you don't have to plot your studies every now and then. So that is why the chart, it is loading your studies before it even opens up. Okay, so now yeah. Okay, now if you can change from historic, you can change from 1 week to 1 day, so it will become a daily chart. It will change to a daily chart. Okay, you can change to a month. You can change from a candle to a bar chart. There are different types of chart types that you can you can select. If you reduce the number of items in your template, then the chart will open up much faster. The more items you have, the more algos you have, the charts will take that much longer. So here you have a bar chart, you have a line, you have a mountain, and Heikanashi and Renko, and we don't know all those things. Unfortunately, I'm sure there are there may be a lot of people in this meeting who can teach me about all these things, because we are not familiar and we don't delve into all these things. And there are then there are these studies which others call the indicators. So there are 115 studies that you can plot. Okay, you can add these studies also to your template. Okay. So that is also possible. So you can use. There are people who use Super Trend and so on and so forth. So you can choose that. But with what we have done with these Shasva algos, there is absolutely no need for you to there is absolutely no need for you to use any other indicator or any other study. The risk meter, the risk line, the peak and the trough, the zone, the Shakti, these all are they are so powerful that we have designed it in such a manner that you don't need to use any of these studies. But we have added them all the same, because there are people who use. You can select a theme, night theme or a day theme. That it's okay. Nothing changes much. One important feature about this is, in the charts, is that in Shasva you can open charts from a lot of other places. Okay, so you can open a chart from my workspace, like I have shown you here the other day. You can open this chart, you can make it a full chart. You can open a chart from here, from here. That day, the other day I showed you, you can just double click and open a chart. So Bajaj Finance will open from here. Now, one interesting thing that happens is, just let the chart load and I will tell you what is that interesting thing. So if you notice, it hardly takes any time to load the naked chart, but to plot the studies, it takes some time, because it is actually plotting. It is actually plotting real time on this on the chart. So the beauty is, that I have these items on my symbol lookup. So only these items will come out. So if you want, if you open from there from the symbol lookup, and you have 10 items in your symbol lookup, it will only load these 10 charts of the symbol lookup. Okay. Similarly, if you open charts from the Shaspa Star Scanner, and let's say there are 17 items in the Shaspa Star Scanner, it knows, it is smart enough to understand what it is supposed to load, and it will only load those 17 charts for you. So if you go to Shaspa Star Scanner, so you can open the charts from symbol lookup. You can open the charts from the chart window on here on the dashboard. You can go to the Shaspa Star Scanner, and from the Shaspa Star Scanner you can load the charts. You see there is a chart button here. So if you see, there are how many charts here? There are 43 in all. So what if you open the charts from here? It will load these 43 charts. Okay, one after the other. It will line up these 43 charts, and so you can just do next, and you don't have to go back and forth. You don't have to go back to the Shaspa Star Scanner and then again click on the open chart of another stock or another script. It will you just have to do next, and it will open the charts. So you can click next here, or you can press shift and next button on your keyboard, and the next chart will one after the other, the charts will load. Okay, so I told you, the lesser items you have on your default template, the faster it will allow the chart to open. So here, so if you see, these are the 43 items that were that were there in the Shaspa Star Scanner. So this is what happens. Okay, so yesterday we had discussed about the peak and trough, and I told you, I will explain exactly what is break peak and what is exactly break trough. So let us, we have a chart in front of us. I will explain to you what exactly is zone and where you use zone. And so zone is something that you use only for the long term. So if you're trading short term, you are supposed to follow the peak and the trough, and you're not supposed to follow the zone. Okay, so if you're trading 5-minute, 15-minute, 25-minute, 75-minute, 125-minute charts, you are not supposed to follow the zone. Zone is for people who are trading for the medium term, intermediate term to long term, because for them, sometimes they are not able to make up their mind whether they should exit at break trough, or they have a long term horizon. They think that this stock I should have in my portfolio, and I don't want to exit at this point in time. If this is you think that this is just a correction, and the market somehow you have that belief that that this stock will go. So Abbott is a very good example. It is an excellent example that we have in front of us. So what happens is, this green line is the peak. So let us assume that according to Shaspa Star Scanner, or it's a 3-star, 4-star stock even here, and you want to buy. So what do? So you buy at break peak. Now if you see, you take your cursor anywhere. This is a crosshair. You can, if you remove the crosshair, it will if you remove the crosshair, then the crosshair will go. But if you activate the crosshair, you see these two vertical and horizontal lines come, and wherever you take the cursor, okay, it will show you, it will open a label. For the chartists, it is they understand these things very well. It is, but for the some newbies, it could be Greek and Latin. But like I said, there are many chartists. There may be many chartists here who might be much better than us at reading charts and all the other stuff. So if you see, the peak here is 8099. Okay, 8099 is the peak. I'm not moving my cursor. It is stationary. So I want you all to see the box that has opened up. There is date, there is close, open, high, low, volume, and there is a peak value. That peak value is 8099. So what do we mean by break peak? Now we want to buy. Okay, we want to buy. So if you want to buy, what you need to do is you are waiting for break peak. That means you are waiting for the price to go above this green horizontal line. So 8099 is the peak. 8100 you can go ahead and buy safely, no problem. 8100, 8101, 8102, 8105 you can buy absolutely no problem. For a stock worth 8,000 rupees, you can go even even 10 rupees more than peak price, doesn't matter, because it's an 8,000 rupees stock. Try to understand. Okay, so in terms of percentage, it is minuscule, and the trough is 71860. So your stop loss is 7160. So your stop loss is 7160. That does not mean that you are supposed to exit at 7160. When we say your stop loss is 7160, that means whenever the price goes below 7160, you are supposed to exit. Again, how much? There is nothing called as how much. The moment it breaks 7160, you can sell at 7159.50, just get out. You can sell at 7159, exit. You can sell at 7158, exit. It's as simple as that. Okay. So when you bought at 8099, or sorry, at 8100 or 8105 or whatever, then all you are waiting for is break trough to happen. So your stop loss is this trough. And if it breaks trough, then you have to exit. But here what happens is that it does not. See, the price has gone up. The price has not gone down. So there is no question of break trough. If anybody here wants to understand what is break trough, then this here is break trough. That means it has breached, the price has breached the horizontal red line. So this is break trough, and this is where you want to get out. Okay. So if the same thing would have happened here, we would have got out. But it has not, and the trough has moved up. So now if you see here, again, I'm not moving the cursor. It is stationary. You can see the trough is 8278. So what happens is, from 7,000 whatever it was, 7160, now this is what we mean by stop loss updation. So you update your stop loss to 78278. It does not break. It goes higher to 8,700. Now your stop loss is again updated. It is now 8,700. Okay. Here it is again updated. It has gone to 10,350. It has again updated. It has gone to 11,350. Here it has again updated. It has gone to 12,329. And if you see here, there is a break trough here. Okay. So can you see the trough price here? Again, I'm not moving the cursor. It is 12,329. 12,329. And if you see here, the low is 12,200. That means it has broken 12,329. Obviously, that is why the low is 12,200. You will get out. So the moment it breaks that 12,329, you will get out. Okay. Now, although the price here is low is 12,200, the trough is still 12,329 because the new trough has not yet been formed. The new trough will form later. And now if you see the trough has changed to 12,186. Okay. It has changed to 12,186. So this is how the peak and the trough work. So if you buy here, and if you update your stop loss, if you're, a lot of people yesterday were asking how to update the stop loss. What do you actually mean by updation of stop loss? This is what we mean by updation of stop loss. Now, let us assume you are, a long-term trader and you don't want to get out. You think, for XYZ reason, you feel that this is a good stock and I want to hold this stock. Now again, I'm telling you, it could be XYZ reason. So your reason may be logical, it may be illogical, it may be an emotional decision, it may be something, it might be your gut feeling, it may be an instinct, it may be a story you would have heard. Somebody is telling you that Abbott is coming out with the COVID-19 vaccine, or anything, and you think that I don't want to sell Abbott. Then you need to follow the zone. So let us assume that the zone would have been different here than it is here. Okay, so probably the zone would have been different. So the zone would have been, I don't know, it would have been here or it would have been here or wherever the zone would have been. The bottom of the zone is what I mean. Okay, so this is the top of the zone and this is the bottom of the zone. So you don't exit. It goes up and it again breaks the trough. You again don't exit because you are waiting for this to break. So you conclude that I'm willing to take this much risk. I'm willing to lose this much right from this point here, which is some 16,000 something, to all the way down to 12,000 something, and you are okay with taking that risk, and you say that I'm willing to forego this 4,000, to make 10,000 points in the future going ahead. And Abbott would probably go to 20,000, 25,000. It can happen. It has happened with so many stocks. It has happened with Eicher Motors. It has happened with Bajaj Finance. So if you feel, then you can do that. So that is what zone means. At the same time, for people who are buying, if they think that break peak has happened and they have missed the bus at that point in time, so what you can do is you can buy in that zone, in that green zone. You can still buy. So as long as the price is in that zone and you can manage your risk, whatever risk you are out to take, if you can manage that risk, then you can easily buy within that green zone. If you Similarly for the exit, so if tomorrow the price continues to go up, who knows, the bottom of the zone might go to 16,000 rupees, and you would think that, oh, it was nice that I did not sell at that point in time. So anything can happen. It's hindsight is always 2020. uh, you know uh, you get rewarded for being patient, but these trades are few and far in between. It depends on what kind of psychology suits you. If your psychology is not up to the mark, probably you can just I think the simplest and the safest and the best strategy to adopt is break peak buy and break drift sell. What you can do is you can select your time frame. You can say, okay, I will trade a weekly chart. You can say, I will trade a daily chart, whatever you choose to do. But once you have decided that you will trade a daily chart or a weekly chart, you have to exit. And last time we discussed, when we were discussing strategies, that the best strategy for long term is you trade a weekly chart and just follow the peak and the trough. But there are some people who are hell bent, who just don't want to exit a stock. They are they get married to the stock, and नहीं ये break trough हो गया, लेकिन it's a temporary correction, which is possible, and you may turn out to be right. You may turn out to be right at the end of the day, but you may turn out to be wrong also, and you may end up losing 4,000 points here, which is right from 16,000 to 12,000. Like I said, anything is possible, and nothing is right or wrong. It is just at the end of the day what happens that makes things right or wrong. So there is no such thing as right or wrong. Okay, so you can select the market from here. So again, with the same thing with watch list, if you have 4 stocks in your watch list, the system will only load those 4 stocks, and you can do next, and you can go to those stocks, right? You can go to charts from the RT Auto Trade Scanner. So whenever the tiles come, whenever the trade is populated on the suggested stock window, you can double click there, and you can open the chart. So I'm not sure on the web application. I think it is double click, and on the mobile it is a long press. You just have to. I don't exactly remember whether for mobile it is a long press or so. Yeah, I think for the web version it is double click on the tile, and on the mobile it is a long press to open the chart. Similarly, if you go in the order book, if your trade goes to the order book, from there also you can open it. But once the trade gets executed, then there is no way to open the chart. So as long as the chart is there in the order book or in the suggested stocks, you can open the chart. The reason being that once the trade is executed, then you need to see chart, because you need to enter. Once you have entered the chart, all you need to know the trade, all you need to know is your stop loss. So your stop loss you already have. Okay. Now trailing of stop loss, I've already explained to you. This is how you trail stop loss. I will on this intraday chart again. I will explain to you. So let's say Balkrishna Industries, or probably Something has happened to my laptop. Yeah. So Hind Unilever will open the chart. So it's a 75-minute chart. So I'm showing you that chart because it is a trade that was recently executed. It happened just I think last week or so. This trade was generated by the RT Auto Trade Scanner. Okay. So if you see here, there is a break peak here, right? There is a break peak here where if you see the peak is 2193.9, you can buy at 2194, 2195, and there is no break trough, and here there is a break trough. So if you see here, the trough is 2247. So you buy at 2194, the trough goes up, and then the trough is broken. So you get out at 2247. So 2247 minus 2193 is your profit, whatever it is, 50 points or so. That is your profit. Similarly, here there is a break peak, and then there is no break trough, and here there is a break trough. So you would obviously exit. Okay, so this is how you enter and you exit. If I can see a short trade, maybe something that is going down. I don't know what's going down at this point in time. Any suggestion on what's going down? Any stock that is going down? Yeah. Any suggestion on a downtrending stock where we would short? Yeah, Just Dial. Okay. So I hope Just Dial is in. Sorry.
Our Grid.
Power Grid. Okay. No problem. Just Dial Power Grid. I think there's something wrong with my laptop. It has just updated Windows, so it's behaving very strange. Okay, Power Grid. So while shorting, what you're looking to do is you're looking to first sell and then buy. That is what we mean by shorting. So what you would do is you would wait for break trough, which is happening here. So there is a break trough here at 172.25. Again, you are not supposed to sell at 172.25. You are supposed to wait for that price to break. Once that breaks, let's assume you have short sold at 172. You wait for this peak to be violated or broken. It doesn't happen. This is your stop loss. The distance between the trough and the peak. The peak is 174.40. So your risk is 172 minus 174.5, because you're not selling at peak, you are just waiting for the peak to break. That difference. So 2 rupees and let's say 50 paise, to be on the safer side, 2 rupees 50 paise, 2 rupees 60 paise is your stop loss. Multiply that into the number of lots that you have bought, or the lot size, multiply it into the lot size, and then further multiplied by the lot size. That is your total risk. Okay. So it does not break peak, the peak comes down, then this becomes the peak. Now the peak is 169.1. Okay. It does not break this peak, the peak again comes down now. So this is what we mean by updating our stop loss. So from here you have updated your stop loss to 169.1. From here you have updated your stop loss to 166.5. Okay. So now what do we actually mean by, practically what do we mean by updating our stop loss? So in your system, trading system, whether you're trading online through an online platform or you're trading through a dealer, what you would do is you would put a stop loss of 174.5. That if the price goes to 174.5, between 174.5 and 178, 179, 176, 175, I need to sell. Okay. So, or you call your dealer. There are many people who still trade through dealers, and you tell your dealer, "Okay, bhai, mera power grid ka ek short position khada hai." You put a stop loss of 174.50. So the moment the price goes to 174.50 or above that, you are supposed to buy back my square off my position. Okay. In short selling, it is called squaring off. Now, after a few days, what happens is the peak is changed. So when the peak changes, now the peak is 169.1. Now what you do is you call your dealer, and after all these days, you call your dealer and say, मेरा जो stop loss था 174.5 का, उसको revise करके 169.20 कर दो, 169.30 कर दो. It does not breach, and after a few days, the peak is again changes, and now it becomes 166.55. Now you call your dealer and say, you change my stop loss to 166.75 or 167. It does not breach, it goes further down, and now the peak is 162.95. Now you call up your dealer and you say that you change my stop loss to 163. So here it breaks the 163 and you are out. So you short sold at 172.5, let us assume 172.5, and you buy back at 163.5, let us assume. That 9 rupees into the lot size, into the number of lots, is your profit. Okay. So I hope you all have understood now very clearly what is peak and what is trough. Okay. I will repeat, zone is for long-term traders. It is or investors rather. It is for people who are investing. It is people who are there in the market for more than 6 months, more than a year rather. For them, the zone makes sense because they might not, because they are for the long term. In the short term, when the trough breaks, they might not want to exit. Okay. So what they do is they give their stock some more cushion to move, some more space to move. So what the zone does is the zone, it gives your stock some more space to move. Having said that, I would again repeat that your best option, the best strategy to adopt is to follow the trough. So even if you're a long-term trader, rather than following a day chart, you follow a weekly chart. You follow the weekly peak and trough, and you exit at break trough on a weekly chart. Okay, that is the best strategy to adopt even in the long term, is something that we have experienced over a period of time. Okay, so I think that is pretty much about charts, right? We are not, like I said, we are not so much into the studies. So these studies, if you want to add these studies, anybody who has learned this and who is conversant with all these super trends and RSI and parabolic SAR and all these things, you can go ahead and you can use them here, stochastics, whatever you are using. Okay, so super trend. Okay, so this is the super trend, so it comes here, it gets plotted here, so you can use these things. Again, like I mentioned in the very beginning, the time to use charts as your primary source of information for analysis is gone. We no longer use charts as our primary analysis tool of analysis. It is done by the machines, it is done by the algorithms, it is done by the artificial intelligence. We are too slow, and our intelligence is too weak. Okay, we are now, I am not insulting human intelligence here. What I mean to say is human intelligence is created for creativity and thinking. Okay, it is not meant to be computing. So for computing, computers and machines are way ahead of the human mind. So we use our algos and our artificial intelligence. So basically we use Shasva for our analysis, and we use the charts for this to understand these entry and exit points, and all these nitty-gritties. Okay, so I think that is pretty much